Hey, welcome back. So it's been a minute or two since I've made a tutorial, and I was really busy last year as a teacher. I actually finished up teaching last year. So right now I have some more time on my hands to be able to create some more tutorials, which is what I really wanted to focus on, getting some of the things with Unreal Engine out there, some 3D modeling stuff through Blender and through Maya. So I'm going to focus on that for a while, and that means I'll be able to start getting some tutorials out a little bit more regularly. So this tutorial is actually a beginning level tutorial. If you've never used Unreal Engine before, or you've used it a little bit, or maybe you've used it for making cutscenes or animations, and you want to learn a little bit more about how Unreal Engine works, this is a good tutorial for you if you're wanting to focus on learning the video games and blueprints and things like that. Somewhere to start at anyway. So let me go ahead and get my head out of the way, and we'll talk through what we're going to do. As you can see here, this is the sandbox level, and it's basically set up for us to get some of our assets set up inside of Unreal Engine so we can start concentrating on making our level. Okay, you'll see that I have several volumes here that are around me. There's a volume here in front of these cannons. These are the same cannons from the old Rollerball. I've moved them over to Fab and set them up so that they're free, so you'll have access to them. We're using some volumes, again, for damage, but we're going to use a different health system so that instead of being a one-hit kill type thing, having to restart a level, we're actually going to be able to take damage, and as the damage reduces, if it goes to 0, of course, our character will die and you have to restart, but there are also health pickups that will allow us to continue playing. There'll be some coin pickups, and we'll be able to interact and with different volumes on this map using an interact system and the input system that is currently available in Unreal Engine. So if I hit play, let's go ahead and walk through this a little bit. So again, same rollerball, W to move forward, S to move backwards. We're using torque and radians to make this work. There is no A or D key to be used. Basically, whatever direction we look is the direction we move. We can stop, and we can change direction a little bit faster. So if I'm moving along and I want to stop and then change direction, we can do that. We can also change direction over time, but as that takes a little bit of process. We can hit our pickups. If we go into this health, we can see that, again, we'll take damage over time. Let's just stay in it. There we go. All right. Now over here, the door, get a little pop-up that says, can't really see it, there it is, press E to interact. Okay, so if I press E to interact, I can walk into the door, it opens, pick up some health, and it refurbishes me a little bit. All right, this volume over here, as I described before, if I wander into it, cannons will start to fire. And as I leave, the cannons will stop firing. The little cone is the volume area. So again, we're going to learn a little bit about the modeling system. So right here we have this platform that I made using the modeling system in Unreal Engine. Played around with the UVs to get the squares to line up. We'll talk about how to do that. We'll also get some things from Fab, like this platform came from Fab. It's a different person who made it. It was not made by me. And use it to modify it a little bit in Blender, and then use it to create these moving platforms. Again, using the E button to interact. So if I jump up and go back in that volume, so there it is, press E to interact. Okay. We'll also have some call stations which use a similar interface system that the cannons are using, but in this case, when I interact with it using the E button, the interface will communicate from the blueprint for this call station to the designated platform, in this case that platform, and it'll go down, and then if I press E again when it gets to the bottom, it'll come back up. This flying platform is pretty much the same. Again, I can interact with it, it would move across the screen, and over there's a call station for me to be able to call it. I can also jump, again, the space bar to jump just like before. Now if we fall off things though, we will take health damage. Okay, and I'll show you how to set that up based off of how much you want them to lose. We also have the boost system. So if you look on the lower left-hand corner, you'll see the little blue bar that says boost. If I hold down my W and move forward and then the shift button, I will start boost. I'll get a little graphic showing it, and then the boost system will slowly go down. But over time, it'll also slowly regenerate. So you can see that it's moving back up. And then if I boost, it'll go back down at a faster rate. And then when I run out, my ball slows down because I'm no longer boosting. All right, so that's sort of the intent here overall. So this interface system that I have selected here, this volume rather, is what's being used to control the cannons. I can move it around separate from the cannons, put it anywhere on the map. So this is useful if I want to have a system get activated, but only fire the cannons when I need them to fire, instead of having a sort of like we did in the previous version of Rollerball, where the cannons always fired once the game started. And if you had hundreds of cannons, that can cause some performance issues, as you can imagine. And over here is where I can add in the different cannons. I can also take cannons out. I can have as many as I wanted based off of this volume. Like I said, put it anywhere that I wanted it. So I could make it a little tiny, put it over here on top of this platform, and have 100 cannons shooting at me all at once. If I don't move fast enough, I would die. Okay, again, these volumes here are what cause us to lose health when we fall through it. All right, so real quick, the blueprint here. So these are blueprints. If you're not familiar with Unreal Engine, we will be using blueprints to make this game. And these are all the different blueprints we're going to set up for movement and things like that, to be able to jump around, move our mouse, boost, and those type of things. We're also going to learn a little bit about the blueprint function library and how we can use the blueprint function library to contain some of our most common used blueprints. So in this case, I'm using this to cast to the rollerball, and then I can just call it in a different blueprint without actually having to cast to it inside that blueprint as well. Kind of makes things run a little bit more smoothly and gives us a little bit more performance. All right, and then again, using different systems for interact, so we can have an event interaction. So when I press the E button, this blueprint fires. After it sits for a few seconds, there's a reset at the end. It will call a custom function to reset the platform and make it move back to its starting location. And then those call stations that we have set up around the map, it'll call a specific platform based off of how we have it in the viewport. We can set them up to be specific to a platform. That call station will call that platform, and this is the interface right here. So this is an interface event, a custom event, and this is an interaction. We'll get more into all of that and how all that works once we get going. We're going to set all of this up in a sandbox system like this, and you're going to learn some blueprinting from right at the beginning, so you understand how Unreal Engine is supposed to work. All right, so we're gonna kind of put the cart before the horse here in this tutorial, because we're going to learn how to do some of the programming first, so that you have a background in what it is we're trying to do and some of the concepts. Because when you're designing a game and you're working for a company, presumably you already know how to do the programming that's required for the game that you're going to start making. So when you start going through the designing of a video game, coming up with the concept, and then coming up with the documents for the game creation, you already have a background on how this stuff's going to work. I want to give you a background first, so we're going to do that first, and then we will take a tutorial or so, and as we move forward into the actual level design of the game, we will talk a little bit more about the game concept documents that we're going to use and help guide us in creating our video game. Okay, so that's what this tutorial is about. Again, it's kind of at the beginning level, but it is at the beginning level. But there may be some things, if you're not a beginner, that you might pick up out of this, and you can just kind of pick or choose the tutorials as they come out. That might help you. Maybe you want to know a little bit more about how interfaces work or interact system and things like that. And that's perfectly fine. Again, if you want to follow along with this tutorial, please like this video and subscribe to my channel, so that as I get these tutorial videos coming out, you won't miss them. Thanks for watching. And again, I hope that you'll get something out of this. I'm really excited about this tutorial and sharing some of this knowledge with you. Thanks again.